Okay, welcome back to our Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea campaign. Now, Hyperborea for the new year. This is session 70. We are doing the module The Sea Wolf's Daughter, and the Sea Wolf's Daughter happens to be with the party as they have been transported to the probably the worst place that you could possibly be in Hyperborea. And not only that, it's not even in season. They are in Sartath. Oh, I almost said Sarnath because Jan kept saying that last. And they have discovered this floating black tower after some manipulation of a wheel below a dial and solving a little bit of a puzzle. They entered into the tower and through a small labyrinth uh, spoke with some men made of bronze and stepped upon a platform which completely disintegrated them and then reintegrated them in a new place where they're currently standing. You're looking out into this room. There's some tables to your left with chairs, kind of well appointed. Uh, to the right, there's these kind of cubicles. There's a statue there. You can see that there is a stage off to the left with four musicians on it. And as you're kind of catching this sight, we'll have you guys introduce your characters, and then I'll give you more detail. So we'll start with Crystal. Tell us about your character and all of that goodness.
I play Rowancy. She is a pyromancer. She is currently looking around this room, probably making some candlelight for everyone to see. Uh, and yeah, that's her, pyromancer, Rowan Siege.
Excellent. Nikki, tell us about your character.
I play Panesta. Panesta is a bard, and she is right now happy that they got through the, the conveyance device, the vertical conveyance device, and now we're in this suite. She's just kind of looking around because she wants to try to get back to the place from which they were teleported because of Grinhilda's uh, not rashness. She thought she was doing the right thing, but that's what caused all this. So she is trying to figure out a way to get back, and that's Panesta.
Yes, yes, blame it on the child. Um, Rush, tell us about your character.
So I'm playing Revna Kvaldheim, who is a woman of Viking descent. She is a ledgermanist, so she is a combination of a thief and magic user, and she is just a little bit spun about by this whole chain of events. She was all about helping Grunhild, and then once she went from being the damsel in distress to more of the spoiled, rotten teenage girl type reaction, and then got them whisked away to uh, the gods only know where, to this strange island. Now she is not very happy. Uh, the only thing she is glad of is that she has her faithful friends Roinseach and Panesta, and even Ali, whose eccentricities sometimes get on her nerves. She is still glad to have someone familiar, three familiar people by her side, and hopes to just get out of this thing alive. And that is Revna Kvaldheim.
Excellent. Yes, Revna has, in this stress, forgotten that now Gunhild has saved her twice. But beyond that, um, she may be a brat, but she's got a big spear.
That's
By the
true.
way, it's Sharath is where you are, not Sanath. And Young, tell us about your character.
I play Ali Ahmed Al Sayed. He's a wizard with a flying broom. He's multilingual, and he's operating under three gotta gets, and that is gotta get back, gotta get magic, and gotta climb up this tower and find out what other goodies that he can find.
Yes, this is so Sharath was, of course, where the Ixians originally settled in Hyperborea, but left because of the terrible climate. But of course, there is much magic and interest to be found here, including this very strange tower that none of you ever really heard of. Also accompanying you is the young Gunhilda, who maybe is a little quick with her spear, but at least she's good with it. And the often quiet but occasionally multi-personalitied Helene, the cleric, Amazonian, who is a fighter and a healer. So let me read the little box text for the space. We'll get it set up, and then we'll kind of go through from there. By the way, that thing to your right with the star is a fountain. Okay. So from beyond the gurgling font to your right, that's the star thing, floating in mid-air, you see dinnerware, bottles of wine, crystal decanters of milk, silver platters brimming with foodstuffs. They float over to the tables to the left of you, gently settling down in a gorgeous spread. Pomegranate wine is poured into goblets, sweet milk frocks up in mugs, and plates are piled with sweetbreads, exotic fruits, spiced jerky, pickled herring, smoked octopus, sharp cheeses, and other like viands. On the stage, to the far left, an uncanny quartet of heavily scarred musicians begins to play a variety of odd percussive instruments, first softly and somewhat disjointedly, and then intensifying and finding synchronicity. Emerging from the cubicles to the right, you see a tall, withered old Ixian man. He's garbed in pristine white suit, smiling with eyes that look like polished black gems. He says, "Welcome to the towering fortress of blackened steel. I am Thandarius, your concierge. How can I help you, travelers? Sit, enjoy. You must be tired, for the desert is dry and dangerous, and looks as if you haven't washed in many days." And he kind of looks at you down his nose.
Rowan-Seach leans over to Panesta and says, "Be careful, it's an old man."
Yes, my spidey senses are tingling. She'll say, "What was your name? Vendias?"
Ah, oh yes, I'm sorry, it can be often hard to pronounce for those of common blood. My name is Thandarius. I'm an Ixian, as you might be able to tell.
Ah, noble Fendarius. I am Ali Ahmed Al Sayed. Welcome. It is not. I hope I am welcomed. And he smiles.
Yes, you are very welcome. All travelers are welcome to the fortress of towering black steel here in the desolate land of Sharath.
It is a great pleasure to see and hear the tongue so familiar. As you can see, I too am an Ixian, and he bows.
He nods and he says, "Then you will enjoy the spread of food, for we have many delicacies, even so good as to quench an Ixian's palate." And then he kind of looks at the rest of the group. You're all kind of standing on that platform still, and you're all like smushed into an elevator, basically, and this guy's like looking at you.
Yeah, come.
He's kind of smiling.
I would step out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
He goes, and then you see around the tables, chairs slide out. He says, "Please, rest.
Your hospitality is most appreciated," and Ali just goes up there without any concern and plops down on one of the chairs.
The chairs are incredibly comfortable. You could tell that this stuff is very high end. Polished wood tables brought in from the deep dark forests of Hyperborea. Silk padded cushions on the stools, or the chairs, I should say, and all of the silverware and stuff is actually silver. The mugs and stuff are crystal. So it looks like it's, if you've been to like a palace and been served by a king, that's kind of the level of stuff that's here. And the food is piping hot and looks delicious.
So, you live here in the Fortress of Towering Black Steel?
Yes, I am the concierge. That means the one who greets people and helps them. So please, let me help you. Sit, enjoy.
Oh, the food does look delicious. Fendarius. And she'll just kind of, if everyone else is sitting, she'll just kind of stand.
Okay, are you
Ali's
standing
going
in the
to-
elevator, or are you gonna go over to where the tables are?
No, I'm gonna go over to where the tables are and kind of look around.
Yeah.
Like if there's food on all the tables, I'll look at the food and yeah.
Yeah, there is actually there's 6 of you, right? And there's 3 chairs on each table, so there's food on 3 tables.
3 tables, okay, yeah.
Yep. So you could fit 2 to a table or 3 if you want to do that. But there's the 3 tables that are, here, I'll mark them on them. I'm gonna find my mouse. So basically, like these tables here, this one, that one,
Okay.
that one, and that one all have food, and the chair is slid out. He's standing like over here, because he had to walk around the fountain to get to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go to this table myself. I'm
Okay.
gonna kind of stand with my hand on the back of one of the chairs, like I'm kind of perusing, which is what I'm
Mhm.
doing. And I'll say, as you say, Fendarius, this place is remote and not well traveled. How did you end up here?
He looks, he says, "Oh, my history is unimportant. I am just here to greet you and to see if you have some information for the masters. They are always looking for information from the rest of Hyperborea. As you know, they spend so much time here studying the Black Gulf."
The Black Gulf, you say?
Mhm.
I have some familiar.
Yes, this area is the closest to the Black Gulf that you can get in Hyperborea.
Well, I have some experience with the Black Gulf myself.
Do you?
Yes. I'm a bard, you see. Many of my stories come to me from the deepest regions of Hyperborea.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I would have to tell the masters, wouldn't I?
Well, I can tell you this, that if the masters are not pleased with your stories, you may be sent on your way in a not so glorious manner. So perhaps if you tell me first, I can decide whether it's worth their time to come talk to you. What of you? And he kind of just looks right past you and looks at Revna.
Yep, okay.
Well, like all Vikings, I am a sailor, somewhat, and she kind of waves her hand and other things. Recently, I travel with the bard here and try my best to keep her safe and to help her accomplish whatever tasks that she sets her mind to.
I see. Well, this is an awful time of the year to sail. You sailed all the ways to Sarath in the dead of winter?
I immediately look at Vanessa and Rowan Siege.
He looks towards Rowan Siege. You're a sailor as well?
I do sail with my companions here.
I see.
We have reached these shores through our travels.
Kind of like shrugs and looks up. He says, I'm going to be honest with you now. I wouldn't send away some strays without eating food and drink, but I don't know if your stories are worth the masters. Please enjoy. And he kind of turns and starts walking back towards basically the right, towards those cubicles over there.
Well,
I
I
look at
am
the other
starving.
two. As he's walking away, I look at the other two and I say, well, perhaps I should have embellished a bit. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, noble Fendarius, before you depart, perhaps I, Ali, would share some stories with you if you would partake these wonderful food with us. If you could share this table with us, that would be a great honor for an Ixian like myself.
He smiles widely and he says, he goes again, and he reaches out his hand, and then kind of from the cubicle area floats effectively a wine glass, and he takes it and he walks towards the tables. He sits down, kind of like leans back a little bit and takes a sip.
Before Ali
His
begins,
lips are stained a little bit with the red wine.
Yes. Before Ali begins wooing this man with tales of glory, I would watch what happened, and I would look at him, sort of cock my head to the side and say, is that your magic that moves the plates, or are the plates magic on their own? Please, you must tell me.
Such simple magics. You are a legitimate, so you can roll a d6 with the 2 and 6 chance of having an understanding of how this might be.
All right.
Yeah, you're not really sure because you've seen things where like telekinesis and stuff, but it seems like there's a lot of things moving around all at once. Anybody actually that's spellcaster, all you guys are spellcasters, so you can all roll if you want. If anybody wants to. I don't know if it's on everybody's. I don't know if this spell is available to all of you, but we'll just assume that you know about spells.
Okay. No, not with a
How about our wizard?
What do I got to roll?
Just roll a d6. If you get a 1 or a 2, you'll know what kind of magic is doing this. Although, you know.
All right. Roll d6. 4.
No. None of you have come across this particular magic before, like exactly like this. You've seen other things where objects are moved, levitation, telekinesis, stuff like that. But you see a lot going on. Like plates are being moved around. You saw like dozens of stuff, or about a dozen or so things being moved all at once. So it's like 10 things moving at once, which is probably beyond what most spells that you would know of that would operate, especially since they weren't like all moving together. They were moving separately. The closest thing that you could think of is that maybe there's a whole bunch of invisible people, but you don't sense that there's anybody else in space. Like you're not hearing footfalls or anything like that.
It is great to be your guest and put your service to the test.
Well, again, you are not my guest, although you honor me with saying that. This is just about a humble job for me. When you get to be a little bit older in life, sometimes you want to sit back and just kind of let the days pass and conversation.
Oh,
So
yes. Then Darius, what kind of stories do the masters like? You said about Hyperborea, like about news or magic. What kind of stories do they like?
if I told you that you'll just tell me what I want to hear. You tell me what you can bring.
What about
And
stories
he sips his wine again. And he's got kind of he's got kind of like pale because he's old, and you can see just like the wine kind of drips down his chin a little. He kind of wipes it off, and he smiles.
What about stories of fell creatures from other planets with strange technologies that can turn a person to dust with a single shot?
Kind of leans in. That does sound kind of interesting. He kind of reaches on the platter and takes up a pickled herring, and he plops it in his mouth.
Of course, she speaks of the denizens of Yugoth. I was enchanted by her stories when I first met them.
Have you met these creatures?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have. Met and defeated several of them.
I see. And you traveled to the Dark Planet to do so?
No, actually, we found a terrible nest of them here on Hyperborea.
Huh. He looks down at his plate and he says, enjoy, enjoy. And he gets up and he gets up from the table and he starts walking back towards the right again.
Okay. I kind of look at Rowan Teach and I say, we'll just be careful, but I think some honesty with this guy won't hurt that much, hopefully.
Well, whatever you said, apparently he deemed that worthy of the masters. There's a little smoke trail as he's left the room.
My lucky works for the Migo, says Panessa, and she'll smile.
Did he leave the room altogether?
No, he's kind of old, so he's walking relatively. I mean, each square is only 5 feet, so by the time you say all that, he's just going past the fountain.
Yeah.
But he's actually heading in this direction over here. Let me try and click on this. He's heading like over here. He's not like running. He's just kind of walking.
If I get up to go look at the fountain, will he do anything?
Yeah, you get up and walk over to the fountain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep.
He doesn't react to it at all. No, he's walking over to. Let me just check. I can't remember. Go to B or C. I believe he's going to C. Okay. Yep, that's his office. He's going to C. You can see over there. I mean, now you're standing over there. You can see that there's like a couch in there and a little desk and stuff. By the way, the areas marked D are where the food came from, and you can see that they are stacked with bottles of wine and silver platters and stuff like that. And I guess because you're standing over there, you can also see that B is just an empty space. Like it's completely empty, devoid of anything.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking around. I'm not, I'm not really
yeah.
trying to hide it. I'm just kind of looking at the fountain and seeing what it looks like, if there's any writing or pictures or anything we can kind of glean, maybe what this place is about a little more.
Okay, yeah. It's actually, there are no pictures on the wall. The music is really interesting and coming from the stage, it's got this like weird percussive, sound going. One of them is playing a xylophone, one a gong, one's playing like bells, and the other is playing like these it's a gong, a xylophone, bells, and then these like tubes on the wall. So it's now it's reached like this kind of like rhythm where it's actually fairly loud, but because it's so clean, like you almost don't notice it. But you know that if you were to like, you realize as you're kind of standing there that it's pretty loud, and you were probably talking very loudly when you were sitting at the table. You didn't realize it because you're just in a loud space.
Okay.
The walls themselves are not marked. This floor, the ceiling's pretty tall though. It's 29 feet tall. The walls are gray flecked white marble. The tables are red marble with padded chairs, as mentioned. The bases are marble and the tops are wood. The fountain is red marble, and the sculpture is basically in the center is an arrow that's pointed straight up.
Okay.
Yeah, so just looking around. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he goes over to his little area over there and sits down at the desk. And he puts, he picks up his quill and he starts jotting down something on a piece of parchment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ali, being out of the view of that old man, actually takes out his own ration and eats it over there. He doesn't touch the food. And he
Okay.
leans over to Penesta and says, he's an Ixian like myself. And some of us are quite sneaky. So I wouldn't touch the food.
I smile at him and I say, it only took one time of being poisoned by food for me to learn to not trust all strange foods, no matter how good it smells.
The only thing is you're not carrying any food, because if you remember, nobody was carrying rations because you weren't planning on going on an adventure. You got sucked here, but you can just not eat anything. That's fine. I'm
just going to say I can be hungry for a few more days.
Yeah, I mean, you ate actually, because remember you found food on the thing, but you don't have like rations. The food does smell quite good, but you certainly don't need to eat it.
Well, just for now. The music you said is really loud. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, like in other words, like if at the tables they were talking to each other, you can't hear them because it's that loud. But it's like one of those things where it's loud, you didn't really realize it until you had a second to.
I'm gonna ask. Does anybody feel weird?
You'll have to walk back to them unless you want to
I can-
scream.
Oh no, I can do that. I'll walk back over there.
Okay.
Rowan Teacher's gonna say no, and I guess I'll be the sacrificial guinea pig, and she's actually gonna eat some of the food.
Okay. Yeah, it's delicious. It's very, very good. And I mean, obviously, like the pickled herring isn't heated, but anything that should be hot is warm. If you drink the milk, it's like a warmed, frothy milk. It's very delicious. Yeah, it's very good.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very good. I don't feel weird after eating it.
Yeah, you feel fine.
Is the music familiar to Ali? Is it like Ixian music?
No, it's definitely not Ixian music. You can tell that, and it's Pinesta being a bard, you can tell this is not any music like anything you've ever heard before. It's very strange, but not unpleasant. It's just strange.
Does it seem? I have the counter song ability, and it says I can recognize and identify songs of enchantment. Does it seem like anything like that?
No,
Like
it is not.
okay.
It's not trying. It's not enchanting you at all. I mean, it's enchanting in the sense that it's nice, but it's not enchanting. It's
All
not
right,
magic.
just making sure. Okay. Just checking.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
maybe
no.
I will sit down and I'll take a sip of some of the milk.
Okay, the milk.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it's delicious, frothy. All right, yeah. So you walk back, and then a minute or so later, you guys are indulging. What's Revna doing?
She kind of watches everybody take a bite of the food. And after listening to the discussion, she just kind of decides it's probably best to not. Excuse me. So she'll just kind of sit quietly for the moment,
Okay, yeah,
just
you
keeping an eye
definitely
on
do.
what's going on.
Yeah, you see the old man kind of shuffle back, his pristine white suit, um, you know, uh, and wide smile, and he kind of circles around the fountain again. He comes back towards the table. When he gets closer, he says, the masters are very interested in hearing about these creatures from Dagoth."
Oh, well, great. Are they going to come out and dine with us?
Oh yes. They'll be here shortly. You enjoy.
Oh,
Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about these masters of yours.
Oh. They are very wise and very old, and very powerful.
Are they Ixians like ourselves?
Oh no. Not Ixian. Not like us.
Well, a venerable Ixian elder such as you must have much wisdom to share. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about this place.
He smiles, says, You'll see. And then he kind of just does a little half bow. He turns around and starts walking back to where he was. Back to his little corner over there.
So I immediately lean over to Pinesta.
Yep.
And whisper and just say, I don't like I don't like the way he frames his comments. Not in the
yeah.
least.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it might be a good idea to not be here when the masters get here.
Yeah. I think we are in great danger.
I look over at Rowan, Seach, and Ali and I say, what you guys think?
In case we need it, I have a spell that could help us escape. If I ever give vindication, shut your eyes.
Let us find the path out of here and find some mechanism to return us to whence we came. If we linger here, we're bound to meet these masters of his, and I doubt that they'll be very happy.
Well, those masters may be the one who possess the mechanism to get us home. That's the part of the other problem.
Well, there's an arrow pointing up. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
We could
Ali
always go to
shrugs.
one of the forbidden forests.
So as you're having this discussion and kind of looking around, you hear no, it doesn't actually make that sound, but it's like a transporter, and appearing on the teleportation air device. I mean, you guys all know what it was because you were teleported. You see two people appear. They're quite tall, maybe pushing 7 feet, maybe a little bit taller than that. Otherwise, they look like incredibly like well proportioned and beautiful humans. They are their skin is almost like a pale color, but it also has a sheen of silver. Their hair has gold in it, like blonde, but almost like gold metal. And when they first appear, they're just kind of standing there. The man clad in like kind of a white cloth, just kind of going across him and hanging down, and it's belted at the waist. With a weapon belt with a sword in it, and the woman leaning kind of against him, also just clad with like the, imagine like Wonder Woman, like back at her island, she's looked like that, and she's got flowers in her hair that are an uncanny purple, and she's got kind of a belt across her shoulders, and it's some kind of like staff or something in it, like you can see there's like a glowing tip on the back of it, and they're just standing there. It's almost like two statues appeared because they're so still for about. It probably is only about 2 or 3 seconds, but it's just uncanny how they're not moving. And then they, in unison, step forward out into the room. And they say, "Welcome, visitors. We hear you have stories of travelers from Yugoth. Please tell us." This is the man speaking. "I am Atlas, and this is Aspasia. We are the masters of the Tower of Black Steel." They're also barefoot, by the way. So they're just wearing the only thing they're wearing is just like, I don't want to say a toga because it's not covering that much, but it's like the.
Greetings, Atlas and Astasia. I'm Pinesta.
Well,
And they're not
What of
travel-
these?
Oh, sorry.
What? Good.
Go ahead, Ali.
Oh, I should say around each of their necks, you notice too, by the way, there's a thin gold chain, and hanging from it is a kind of pinkish, almost like a piece of quartz. It's about 6 inches long. They both have that, and each of them is wearing a ring. So other than that, those are the other. Sorry.
Yeah. Ali bows deeply and says, "I am Ali Ahmed Al Sayed. I am pleased and honored to be in your presence." And he nods at the other Ixian and says, "I am an Ixian, as you can see, like Vendarius."
Kind of, he looks at you quizzically, and then he like puts his hand out like this, and from the table, 2 goblets that had been filled up with the wine that you guys aren't drinking, fly forward, and one goes in his hand, and the woman catches the other one, and they sip on it. They're still kind of standing just outside they're basically standing here, like just outside the square.
The teleporter thing? Okay.
Yeah, the teleport thing. Kind of in that doorway, if you will. And you guys are, of course, all.
I would say they are not travelers from Yugoth. They were monsters.
Monsters. Yes. I've heard that before. Aren't we all monsters to some?
I suppose I could have been called a monster to some.
Daniel, quick question. Are these 2 Hyperborean?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. They look like they are Greek, basically. If you've seen Greek people, because I think you guys might have. They've got very Greek features, but they're just extra tall. And they've got almost silvery skin, not that kind of bluish Hyperborean skin, and gold hair. Yeah, and so he says, in any case, such beings should not be here on Hyperborea. They have their place. Into everything must they remain in their own place.
Yes, well, we cleared out a nest of them in Hyperborea a few years ago. And as far as I know, those were the only ones. But of course, I have not been everywhere nor seen everything. But they bring with them this terrible black rock that seems to grow into strange shapes.
Well, can you bring us that rock?
Oh, I don't think I have any. I wouldn't have anyway because I didn't have any of my stuff. It's very dangerous to go back there.
Oh, yes. You're very fragile, I can tell. Where was it? Where was
Crystal Point.
this rock? Crystal Point.
And I don't remember exactly where that is from here. So I don't know where I am really. So
You don't know where you are. How did you get here if you do not know where you are? He narrows his eyes.
what I meant is that I'm not sure how to get there from here.
Oh, I see.
Although I can tell you it is a land of crabmen. So if you know where the crabmen are, you know where the rock is.
Well,
yes.
we found ourselves here by accident. As you can see, I'm a practitioner of magic, and I tend to experiment. I'm not quite there yet, so I was experimenting with teleportation spell, and somehow I must have said the wrong thing. We ended up in this place, out there in the desert. And we are actually looking for a way back, if you could help us.
They look at each other. We are very busy. If you could not help our cause, then perhaps you should have some of the sustenance and leave.
What's your cause?
Oh, well. We are trying to prevent those of the Black Gulf from entering Hyperborea. They do not belong here.
Are those creatures outside? Are they members or are they denizens of the Black Gulf?
Oh, yeah. That's just a side effect. The Gulf will be closed. There shouldn't be more than 1,000 or so of those around before the the opening closes. Maybe 2,000. Probably around 1,000. Shouldn't be too much of a problem.
So that's a yes?
Huh? What do you mean a yes?
She asked if the creatures outside were of the Black Gulf, and you said they were a side effect?
Yes. Well, yes. They're a side effect of closing
So
the
they're
gap
not.
in the Black Gulf.
Oh.
Are they your creations?
He smiles. You insult me. You think I'd create such a foul beast?
I
Look
beg
at
your
me.
forgiveness.
We destroyed one of their queens.
Oh. Well done.
Let me ask you this. What can we do to help you on your quest? I know you think little of our abilities, but we actually have done some fairly amazing feats in our time.
Oh, I see. Well, as I mentioned, there is a rift in the Black Gulf, and we are trying to close it. But if there is some strange black material being formed on Hyperborea, that could be a remnant of something. I'm not sure you could understand what's happening here. You seem this one. He kind of points at. Seems he's trying to figure out how to teleport. This one here has killed a queen. What can you offer us?
Well, I'm going to say I've destroyed cities and slayed gods. I commune with the Black Gulf for my magic at times. I can sense its vibrations. I might be able to help you.
He looks at the woman and she says to you, "What do you know of Kraken?"
I have fought a Leviathan of the sea and survived, lived to tell the tale.
A Leviathan of the sea. I speak not of Leviathans, you spoke of gods.
Are you speaking of those like Mother Hydra?
I believe they're speaking of the god Kraken.
Well,
She turns and looks at you. The dimensional dweller. Kraken is entering the sphere of Hyperborea through an opening in the Gulf. We are creating a weapon that can close the sphere. If some of these queens, as you call them, come through, that is no consequence to us.
all right. What kind of weapon are you building, and how may we aid you in this? And if we aid you in this, can you help us to get back?
I'm not sure that you can aid us at all. What's your you got +1 in your charisma?
Yeah. And my charisma's 15.
You'll need to prove yourself.
How?
If you can prove yourself, then we will show you what's going on here, and perhaps you can be helpful.
And you will aid us in returning?
Yes. That's a simple matter. Teleportation is child work. Beginner magic.
I look at the others. I don't want to make a deal without your. I'm like, is it okay? Give me a
Will
nod.
nod.
Okay.
He nods too. And Ali adds, although my magic is of a very small ability, Penista here speaks the truth. There are tales that are widely spread in Khromarium and elsewhere in Hyperborea, where their deeds are sung. The slaying of the snake god, the routing of Migos, slaying of Hydras. The tales are
He's just kind of
numerous.
looking at you. He yawns, and then he says, "Kill Fandarius." And then he walks past you and sits down at the table and pours himself some wine. And Fandarius looks and he says, What do you mean? Me? No, don't kill me. Don't kill me, please, please. And he sips his wine and looks at you. And the woman sits down as well.
Kill Vandarius, huh?
Please, no. He gets down on his knees. Please, no.
Before we commit to such a deed, I must ask you,
Check my alignment here.
how long has Fendaria served you?
He looks at you and he says, do or do not. But he doesn't use like a Yoda voice or anything.
Oh boy.
Then you hear, not long enough, and through the floor, because you guys weren't paying attention to him, erupt screaming black tentacles all around you. Let's see, how big does this thing cover? Black tentacle, 30-foot diameter. Yeah, you're all going to get caught in them. As Fendarius reaches forward, you see his eyes blacker than black as he's casting a spell. Let's see.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Go ahead and make a sorcery saving throw to not be entangled in the black tentacles that are wrapping around the party. Everybody should make a save.
Sorcery save.
Yep,
Sorcery.
sorcery save. It's modified by, if you have a defense adjustment for your dexterity, you can add that to it.
Oh, yeah.
To your roll.
Ah, damn
Because you can jump out of the way.
Oh man, I
Okay.
got a +2 and I still failed.
I did
Badly.
Oh, no.
plus-
Okay.
+2. I fail.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh, look at that. Ali jumps out of the
Success.
way.
Yeah, I guess
All right.
him being an Ixian, he was sort of expecting some sort of treasure.
I too leap out of the way.
Black squid-like tentacles erupt in 30-foot diameter area. One such per caster. Okay, so there are 9 tentacles that leach forward. So let's see who failed. Oh, I should roll for the kids too. Let's see for Gunhild. So there's 6 of you, and then there's going to be 3 extra tentacles. So the people that are going to succeed are going to get tentacled again. I'm just going to roll 2d20. Oh no, actually no, I can do it this way. I have death. Okay, so this is a saving throw for Helene to jump out of the way. She fails, and 1 for Gunhild, who also fails. Okay, so 4 of you are wrapped up in tentacles. 2 tentacles miss, and there's 3 more, so they're going to go after the 2 people that succeeded. So go ahead and make another saving throw, Ali and Revna. Do all saving throws first. Victim must make a sorcery saving throw. If the saving throw succeeds, the tentacle. Okay.
Sorry, I had stepped away. Here we
That's okay.
go. Shit.
Okay. All right. So 2 of them, the ones that only the 2 from the when you succeeded the first time, 6 points of damage. I'm reading the chat. That's right. To Revna because you succeeded, but that tentacle disappears, and 5 points to Ali. So there's only 7 tentacles left.
How much damage?
You take nothing yet. Well, I haven't got there yet. But the 2 that
Okay.
succeeded in the saving throws, that's for succeeding. You take that damage.
So what did it do? Lash me, but it didn't
And
entangle
last
me?
you, but it didn't wrap you around exactly.
Okay.
Okay, and then all the ones that failed, if the saving throw fails, a tentacle. Oh, it also does a d6, and then also another. So it does 3d6 for the failed. All right, so I'm just going to go down the line now. So in addition to what just happened, Ron Siege, this is a total damage for you, 8, and you are entangled.
Ouch.
Panesta, 9, you are entangled.
Okay.
Revna. Ooh, oh wow, Revna, they don't like you. 11 to
Wait a minute.
13, you are entangled.
This is for people who failed?
You failed the second time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because there's enough tentacles that if you weren't entangled, it tried again, basically. Yeah, so actually succeeding the first time was actually bad because now you took another 13. Okay, 9 points for Ali. And then our 2 NPCs, let's see, we got 8 points for Gunhild, who was actually already hurt from earlier too. And down to Helene. Who takes 11. Who was also hurt from earlier. Why was she hurt? I don't know. But she was. Okay. So now let me just check with this. Okay. Constricting per round until the spell ends or the tentacle is destroyed. Oh boy, okay. Well, it goes for 9 rounds. How can it be destroyed? Everybody is trapped. I'm going to say you can attack it if you're trapped, if you have a small enough weapon, or you have some other way to do it. But you're basically, because you're not like completely wrapped up. It's just like grabbed you somehow. So I'll let you attack.
Are we able
if
to
you
cast a spell?
Difficult. You're going to take so yes, but if they win, you're going to take damage every round from this thing, which means that if they win initiative, you'll take the damage before your spell, so you might lose it. So It's
Yeah,
risk.
but if it works, it's going to be fucking boss. So
Well, then it's worth it. So, yeah, you're going to take 2d6 damage each round that it has you. So, yes, you can cast a spell, but you'll need to, if they win initiative, that we'll deal with that. So, with that in mind, let's see what we got. Rowan, Siege, what would you like to do?
Melee.
Are you okay? Panesta?
Can I use my rod?
On
The guy. Is he too far away?
Each square is 5 feet, and he is roughly where the sea is, and you are where you said you were. So, and
Oh,
you're
yeah,
shooting
no,
through a
it's too
fountain.
far
It
away.
might be too
Yeah,
far
yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Too far away.
But,
Okay.
but you could use it theoretically with the tentacle, but he might be too far away. He's not moving any closer, clearly.
Okay, then I'll use then I'll do missile. I'll do the boomerang if I can.
Yeah, sure, why not? Revna?
oh,
Spell, nice. Okay, Ali.
Well,
All right, and the two girls are also going to use melee and try to hit their own tentacles. Let me just see each tentacle. Just want to see how many they have. 10 feet long, equal to put. Oh wow! Oh wow! Okay, that is. Well, this is a powerful spell. Yikes! You guys don't mind rolling up new characters, do you?
it's all right. If this works, I'm telling you,
Okay,
we'll get out of this.
I'm waiting for it. That's awesome. Okay. All right, here we go. That's it. So the tentacle is just going to keep squeezing. He doesn't have to spend time controlling it. So he is going to. All right, yeah, he's going to cast a spell. Okay. Go ahead and roll initiative, Crystal. Oh, God, he got a 6. Get a 6. Get a
5.
6. Okay, he's going first. Okay, so they're going to crush you. So I'm just going to roll damage here. So Rowan Siege, 11.
I'm
Panesta,
down.
oh God, 8. Revna, 5.
We failed initiative, I take it.
That's right, yep. So you're going to take 5 points, which means that in order to not lose the spell, you've got to roll 3d6 plus 5 under your intelligence to keep the spell.
Well, that's going to suck.
Yep, 9 points to Ali. 7 to Gunhild, and 9 to Helene. Oh boy. This guy is tough. Well, he's tough because he jacked you. But, you know.
Suddenly you all
Okay.
wake up back on the island.
I guess when the strange Greek people tell you to kill somebody, you just do it right away. All right, and he's casting his spell, which is actually slow. So, assuming he's close enough, I actually didn't check. He may have to walk forward to do it, but which he will do. Slow spell. After the attacks and movement rates of the spell's victim who failed their sorcery saving throw. So everybody make a sorcery saving throw, or you're about to be halved. Equal to his caster level. Oh, hold on. A number of creatures. Okay, nope, there's enough for you. 15-foot radius. Actually, let me just check. He's not going to get everybody. I'm going to make a roll of 3d6 to see which table he doesn't go after. 2, the second table. So he's not. So I know the Panesta's in that one. So you're getting hit and you're getting hit. So we're going to say, so we didn't really say where everybody's sitting. I'm just going to roll 2d6. And so 2 people are going to be not affected. The first one is number 2, which is actually Panesta, even though you should be based on something, but you don't have to make a saving throw. And the second one is number 4. That's Ali. So it's going to affect you, Crystal, even though you're unconscious, just because you fall in the space. So you do not need to make a saving throw, Panesta, nor does Ali, but Revna, you need to make a save.
yeah, Ali's at -3, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, you're also down? Oh, really? Oh, geez, okay. All right, so let's see. The girl's going to make their save. Okay, she made it.
I'm good.
Made it? Okay, cool. All right. All right, so all that happens. Now Go ahead and throw your boomerang, Vanessa.
Okay. 16 on the dice.
His armor class
What hit?
is...
Armor class. Make it plus. So -3.
That hits.
Okay. For 5 points.
Okay. The boomerang hits him and does 5 points. It does not seem to even stagger him. Okay, go ahead and hold on. Ali, you were doing a melee, right? So then spells will go next. Go ahead and make your intelligence check there, Rush, to see if this spell kicks butt. Or did you already do it?
No, I didn't. You said it was 3d6 under my intelligence?
That's right, +5 because you took 5 points of damage. Well, equal to or under.
Oh, Jesus. 3d6. I just do 3d6 and then just do +5, right?
Yep. Come on. Roll low. Ooh, what's your int?
14.
Oh no! All right, yeah,
Missed
you
it
lost the
by
spell.
1.
Unfortunately, missed it by that much.
Was the
Yeah, so
spell
unfortunately,
gone?
you lost the spell. Yep, gone.
Well,
Bummer.
what I can tell you my plan was is I was going to go into wraith shape, which basically is like gaseous form, so that the tentacles couldn't hold on to me. And I was going to fly up and reformulate myself behind one of the masters with my dagger to his throat and tell him to stand stand him down, or Sandarius will not be the one who dies today.
Nice. Okay. Well, you think
Yeah.
about all that while you get crushed.
Yes.
I'll
But
leave
that
make
was
your
the
attack.
plan.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, Ali's bleeding and is at -3.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Okay, so 2 girls are going to attack. Of course, everybody's got their own tentacle around them, so it's not like they can really do much else. She's going to attack with her spear. -14. Oh, it's a crit. 15 points of damage. Roll d6. 6. She's a fighter. Fighter with the 6 does triple damage. 45. Oh, Goodhild kills her tentacle. Wow, okay. Helene. She probably should have thrown the spear at the other guy, but she didn't think to do it. And Helene can't do that. So, well, actually, she has to attack, so she's going to... that does not hit. No, it does hit the tentacle. It does 12 points of damage. Ooh, this is going to be tough. Okay, she's still trapped, though. Goodhild's going to attack. The tentacle is on Helene, hopefully to get her out so she can do some healing. Okay, yeah. Doesn't free her, though, unfortunately. Okay. All right, I think that's the end of the round. Everybody that failed their save is slowed, which is nobody, so the slow spell really didn't do anything. No, I'm sorry, Helene failed, so she won't be able to attack next round. Well, she's spell casting, so it's not going to matter. Okay, coming into the next round of combat. What would you like? Rhodesy just down. Vanessa, what would you like to do?
I guess I'll try a spell.
Okay. Ravita?
Oh, you know what? I think I should probably melee my tentacle. I'll do that.
Okay.
Melee.
Yep. Ravita?
Am I able to use a missile weapon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then I'm going to pull out my laser crossbow.
Okay, perfect. I mean, you're using it on not the tentacle, it's on you, obviously. You can't shoot your tentacle with a missile weapon.
No,
but you
I
can
was going to
shoot somebody
try and
else.
shoot Sandarius directly.
Oh, okay. All right, perfect. Just want to make sure.
Yep.
And Ali's down. Okay, the two, Helene's going to try to cast. So she's going to go second phase because she's hoping that Goodhild will get her out of the tentacle. Okay, let's roll initiative, Crystal. Let's hope for the best here.
Okay.
2.
4.
All right, you guys are going first. So missile, there's no, well, the spell's going to get held till second phase. So which is unfortunate. But missile will happen first. So that is. Am I right about that? Or am I doing BX again? I think melee happens before missile. Melee happens first. Penesta, melee. So actually, she doesn't have to wait till second phase.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, on my tentacle, I rolled a 19,
That hits.
so that will hit. Yeah, armor class.
The armor
Yeah,
class is
negative
4.
something. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
For using my sword. Ooh, 12 points.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you cut deeply into this thing. It's pretty thick, though. So, unfortunately, it is still up.
Yep. That's all I can do, though.
Yep. Fair enough. Also meleeing is Gunhild, who's going to do first attack on the tentacle that's on Helene, hoping to take it out. And she hits it, but doesn't kill it. So she attacks it again, and that does kill it. Okay, so Helene is free. I guess this tentacle doesn't actually exist. Okay, so missile, so rush,
All right.
or Ragnar rather, attacking
Very
your brother there,
directly.
the old, right? What's that? Yeah,
Yep.
the old man attacking the poor old man. His armor class is 2.
Yeah, he's in either one. Yeah. All right. Laser crossbow. All right, here we go. 3 shots. Pyong,
Yes, nice,
pyong.
nice.
Pyong. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Does 0 get him?
Yeah, his armor class is 2.
Oh, you said okay. Yeah, so that's
It does not kill him, even though you hit him 3 times, but he is very hurt.
Yeah,
He
it's
staggers
24.
back.
Yeah, so she screams back, and she's just like, ah!
Nice. Okay, so that's missile in the middle. Okay, so you have one person going. All right, I don't know who's closer, so I'm gonna roll a die. If it's even, Helene's gonna heal Rodenseach first, and if it's odd, she's gonna heal Ali first, because I don't really know who's. We didn't figure out who's closer to her. It is a 6, so Rodenseach, you're allowed to get healed. Unfortunately, she doesn't have mass healing word or anything like that. She's gonna drop a. Nope, that's crit food and water. She's gonna drop a cure serious on you. Boom, 14 points of damage. You get healed for. Yeah. However, you're gonna take damage now, but hopefully that's not gonna be bad. All right, that's everybody on your side. Okay, so here comes the damage now from the squeezing of the tentacle. You're still tied up there, Rodenseach. 6 points. Penista is also tied up. 7 points.
Okay.
Revenue, you are still tied up. You take 6 points as well. And ooh, this is going to be Ali, which is not going to be. Oh, only 3 points. But I think that's not going to kill you, right? You're close.
Getting
Okay,
close, but
and-
I'm still alive.
Still barely up.
I mean,
all right, so this round of
but,
initiative is going to make a big difference. And then there's still a tentacle. Oh no, there's no tentacles on the 2 girls. Okay, that's it. That's all tentacle damage. Because this one is on Ali, and that one's on Revna. And this, oh no, that was right. This tentacle here is on Rodenseach. All right, so currently there is two of you are free, with the 2 NPCs basically, Helene and Gunhild. Penesta, you are entangled, but your tentacle is hurt. Rodenseach, you're entangled, your tentacle is not hurt. Ali, you're entangled and knocked out, your tentacle is not hurt. And Revna, you are entangled and your tentacle is also not hurt. However, and then also you've got the old man who is, he lost his spell. He tried to cast a spell, he lost it. So that was going to be a ray of enfeeblement, which he now no longer has as a spell. Okay, so coming into the next round, he's going to cast a spell. The tentacles are going to keep smushing. What does Rodenseach want to do? You're up now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna do missile.
Okay. Penesta?
Melee at my tentacle again.
Okay. Revna?
I'm going to try and shoot the old man again.
Okay. And Ali, you're out, unfortunately. Helene is going to cast a Cure Spell on Ali, and Gunhild is going to try to free him since he's down. Okay, so let's roll initiative, Crystal. You want to win this one. They got two. Okay. All right.
Nice.
You're making me nervous here, guys. All right, so melee first. That's going to be... Sorry, you're doing a missile, right, Rowan Siege? So that's Penesta.
Okay. I must be stumbling a little in my tentacle because I missed.
Okay. Yeah, it's not easy to hit a tentacle while you're being tentacleized. All right, Gunhild is going to run over to try to free Ali. Come on. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, hits twice. That does not quite kill the tentacle, but it is definitely hurt. So it takes 23 points of damage. Okay, then missile fire happens. So Rowan Siege, who are you targeting?
I'm going to target the old man with my dagger.
Okay.
My
Okay.
magical dagger.
Ooh, a dagger?
Yes.
All right, you might be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You are 50 feet away, so that might be a decent range there for a dagger.
Oh, no. It can only throw 30.
Yeah, you can't reach him. I'll let you do it, but you'll have to do extra pay. If you want to just go, I mean, you could change your action, or if you want to take it even more of a penalty, but you're already -5 if you want. You'd be like -7 if you want to try to throw it that far.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Okay, well, you could do it. Yep, change your action. It's fine.
Could I just use my crossbow instead?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll do that and target the old man.
So crossbow, you're probably in short range, I'm guessing.
Yes.
So you should be good. Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
No.
That hits armor class 14, which in 5e would be pretty decent. But in this, that's terrible. That's no armor, it's armor class 10, right?
Yes.
Okay. Revenant missiles.
Okay. Here I go. Excuse me. Dry cough is getting to me today. All right, here we go. Pyong! Oh! That's a critical.
That's a crit.
It's got to be a
All
kill
right,
shot.
so roll a d6. It might be. He's low enough that if you roll high on this d6, roll me a d6.
I was gonna say, did you want me to roll the other ones first, or he's got two more shots?
No, you could, if you, depending on how glorious this blows him up.
All right, cool.
Roll the crit first, yeah. Okay. 5. And you're a thief.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 is double damage. That's 20. That's gonna be enough. Yeah, that you shoot him. I'm gonna say that barely kills him. So I'm gonna say that you probably will shoot him one more time before you realize he's dead. So, but you can just waste one more shot.
Nah, because the ammo on this is not.
No, I'm saying you're
replaceable.
gonna waste one more shot instead of 2.
Oh,
because you're
okay.
going deep, but I'll say that you got him at the first shot. So.
I actually missed.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
in the process of falling, I shoot over him.
Yeah, and then you realize he's dead, so you don't waste the last shot. So that's good. You save one shot because he is. Okay. Yeah, you kill him, and you. That's missile. So then spells. That's all the missiles, right? Spells would be Helene casting on Ali. Gonna do cure moderate. She's another level, so she can cure. Oh, wow, 13. Ali, 13 points of damage healed. And then that's it. And then it comes to their turn. Obviously, he's dead. Before you take damage from the tentacles crushing you, though, you hear and the tentacles are dispelled, and you turn, and you see sitting at the table the two people. Their wine is only maybe like a third way drunk, and they are golf clapping. Yeah, and they say,
Yeah, I blow the
Very good.
smoke.
You have earned your right to stay here.
I blow the smoke wisping off the end of the barrel of my laser crossbow. Put it away.
Ali dusts himself off and goes, I was going to dispel that. And he walks over to the dead body of the Ixian and says,
Okay.
as I am an Ixian, I claim the right to his belongings. And then he tries to rifle through some of the magical items.
Okay. Yeah. Is he carrying anything on his body? He is wearing a very, very well. Now it's blown to pieces. A very beautiful white suit, which has a bunch of holes in it. On him is nothing. He's not carrying anything on him. However, he does have that area with the desk and everything over on the side. If you want to rifle through there, they don't seem to stop you. I mean, if you want to walk over there and look, they just say. The woman says. She says, "Who amongst you is the leader?"
Pinesta.
Yeah, we all just look at Vanessa.
Well, if we have a leader, I suppose I could be considered the leader.
Okay. She looks and she says, "Come." There's 3 chairs at the table. And when she says that, one of the chairs slides out. Like they're sitting in 2 of them, the other chair slides out.
Okay, I'll go sit down.
Okay. She reaches under her. Actually, when you sit down, the glass it's like sitting near you with a pomegranate wine. The jug picks up and fills it. And she reaches down into her, like in her robe. She has like a pouch in there, wherever. She pulls out a small, probably like 3 inches, kind of a real thick, kind of almost like would be like equivalent in today's world of like cardstock, but it's basically like vellum. She puts it down, and then she pulls out a small, kind of a bit of like blue wax, and she holds it in her hands like this, and then you see it melt almost like a candle was on it. It just melts down onto the thing, and then she turns and presses her ring into the paper and lifts it up, and then she slides it over to you, and she says, "This pass will allow you free access to the building. Show this whenever you are requested, or those who live here might react violently."
Well, thank you. This is quite a gift, but if we have proven ourselves to you, does our deal stand? Can we help you, and will you help us?
Yes, we will give you a tour when your friend is kind of like, she's over there, you can see Ali looting through the stuff.
Yeah, I meant.
And then you hear Ali scream. It's like, what? He doesn't have a spell book?
I meant to ask.
You see him stand up.
I meant to ask too before Pinesta went over there. Rowan Siege went down, correct?
Yeah, she's back up though. She got healed by Ali.
Okay, I missed that very important little bit. And I was like, wait a minute, is anybody tending that woman?
Yeah, no, I think you're back up, right, Chris? I thought that wasn't have to bring you back up.
Yeah,
So you did.
yeah.
Then you shot your weapon. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make
Yeah.
sure. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
Rowan Siege
No.
just laying there dead.
No, I'm up. I'm hurt, but I'm up.
Yeah. Okay, so you see by the way, so you're looking through the 3-drawer desk. It's made of ebony pine. The top 2 drawers are cluttered with parchments, quills, and dried ink bottles. You can see as you're kind of looking through that the parchments have like kind of crude sketches of what looks to become some kind of like incredibly vulgar demon doing things to humans that probably we wouldn't speak of in kind society. In the bottom drawer, you see 3 things. They're stacked on top. You see at the very bottom, you see what appears to be a suit of leather armor. It is folded immaculately. It's sitting down there, and it's perfectly clean. It's white. It's white leather. It's very 80s. And it is folded up nice and neat. Sitting on top of that is a white handkerchief that's kind of folded. And then on top of that is an ornate bronze scabbard that seems to have definitely has a dagger in it. And the dagger has a copper handle. That's in the dust that you're looking through, Young.
Nice. Yeah, he takes them.
Okay.
And he
Yeah,
says,
so
"Aha."
inside the handkerchief, as you pick it up, you can actually feel there's something wrapped up in there, and there's a ring.
Does he find anything like written on it? Inscription?
The ring is, let me actually look this up. I believe that it has a interesting shape to it, and I will tell you right now. I'll look in my notes here. Okay, so it's leather. It's etched with runes. And they are, I mean, you're a magician, so you could tell that they are, the runes are representative of animals. So it's got like runes of animals kind of rudely sketched around it, and it's a leather ring. Doesn't have any writing on it otherwise, though. The handkerchief is plain, except for that it's silk and maybe worth a couple gold pieces. The leather armor, as noted, you pick it up and it's like almost like it's really thin, but you could tell it's very durable. You know, I mean, you're a magician; it's likely magical. And the dagger is ornate; doesn't have anything written on it. If you were to pull the dagger out of the scabbard, the blade glows with a kind of a ruddy. It's the whole thing's copper. It glows with like a coppery colored light. I should pull it out.
Yeah, he stashes the dagger himself, and he says, "I think I'll be keeping this one."
Okay.
And takes the leather armor and the rest of the findings over to the party, and
Okay.
holds up the leather armor and says, "Revna, perhaps this would make a fine item for you," and then offers it to her.
She looks at it and she's like, "What is it?"
It seems like a very fine leather armor.
Oh, is it ours to take?
Well, the owner's dead. You're the one that killed him.
Oh,
Did Ali find a spell book by any chance?
There is no spell book.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Let me just see something. Yeah,
Ali's
no.
like, Ali's like, did he have a cheat sheet somewhere underneath his robe? And then he looks at the sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he says they can see you're kind of digging around trying to figure out what's going on, and the woman says the magic of that one was in its blood.
How interesting. And Ali takes the ring over to Panesta and says, "Is this something that you could use, Panesta?" And hands it over to her.
Oh, perhaps. Thank you, Ali.
If we have some time, I may be able to identify it.
Certainly, I'll keep it for safekeeping until then. Or to whoever it's best suited to, that's who will end up with it in the end.
Did you
Yeah,
want to put the armor on? Rush?
well, I mean, at first she's like, she's kind of concerned whether the others would care, like the other this was Sandarius's armor, correct?
It was in his desk drawer. If you mean the Atlas and the what's her name? The
Yeah, the
woman?
masters.
Astasia.
I mean, yeah, Stacy thing. I mean, they kind of were like, "We'll show you around after your friend finishes looting." I mean, they kind of said that. So,
Oh, well,
like,
then I'm
they
taking it.
realize what's happening, and they didn't seem to stop them. So,
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks finer than mine.
oh hell yeah! You pick it
Oh,
up, and it
well.
actually feels like a suit of clothing. That's how light it is.
Ooh,
When you pull at it, it's firmer and tighter than your leather armor as far as strength.
yeah,
You're very
well,
wary about it. I could take some time to identify it when we get
um,
around to it.
I mean, I'll wear it now, and then if you wish to, if you're going to do an identification of it magically, I would actually like to be there. It's a magical skill I don't possess, but I am interested in it. So perhaps it'll be something together.
Oh, let us do so when we get a chance to rest a little bit.
So she would kind of turn and like she would like reach out and turn Ali to face everybody, and then she would step behind him. And she would immediately start changing into the other armor.
Yeah. Yeah, you slip it on. It fits you snugly, almost like it was made for you.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
now
I'll-
they've basically finished their wine, and then they kind of they stand up. They don't even wait till you're done. They're kind of, you can tell they're kind of over it at this point, and they say, "Let's go." You're like rushing to get the stuff on as they're kind of they walk over to the platform.
I hope the tour includes a place where we can rest. Some of my friends are hurt.
He kind of looks. Oh yes,
A
they're very
fragile-
fragile.
Yes. So, you knew what Fendarius was when you hired him, I guess?
We like to keep those types close, if you know what I mean. Is everybody going on this platform, teleportation platform?
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm following now that I have my new armor on. I'm following everybody else. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, you guys get on there. And he says, it's good to keep those types close, if you know what I mean. And then he just raises his hand. You know, he doesn't press any of the buttons. He just raises his hand like this, and you are all disintegrated. And then you are reintegrated in a new place.
So a little Scottish man at the controls.
And Ali finds
Yeah.
himself wearing a red robe.
Oops. You guys have... yeah, so you appear in this space. There is some people working here. You can see off to the side, there's a large pool, and then you see piles of stone that look a lot like that that sky stone that you had found in the out in the field, you know, from the rocks that fell from the sky from the Gulf.
Yep.
There are 4. I mean, you guys would know what these things are, so I'm not going to get to it. There's 4 minotaurs in here, and 8 dwarfs. Would you know what a dwarf is? I guess you. I mean, you're high enough level. You have an idea of what these things are. So dwarves in Hyperborea are basically. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I think I've seen them. I think they
You've
were
actually
under
seen them once, right?
the warlord's palace in Xambaala.
That's right. Yep. So dwarves are a subterranean race of degenerate humans, 3 to 4 feet tall, stubby legs, heavy muscled torsos, long, thewy arms. They are. They begin life as sickly yellow maggots. You might know that about them, but you know, right now they're not that. But they are the smiths of the underworld, basically. There's 8 of them in here working. Minotaurs, of course, are bull-headed men, for basically. And there's one minotaur that's very big, like he's like twice as tall as the rest of them. He seems to be supervising. They are lifting the various stones and putting them in that pool over to the left-hand side, and then using various poles to kind of push them around and pull them back out, you know, as they're kind of working in there. And the couple says, Aspasia says, this is where we separate the zirconium from the stone. You know, zirconium is very useful for us. So this is our zirconium separation facility. The dwarves and minotaurs do a good job at this. They don't complain too much, and they get the job done. You know, You've got to use the right kind of people for the right kind of jobs.
That's certainly true. This zirconium, is it going to help you make your weapon?
She looks at you like you don't know what zirconium is, and she says, "Yes." And then she raises her hand, and you all are disintegrated again, and then reintegrated in another space. Oh, well, this is by the way, when you end up on these levels, you can see the same thing on the wall, the buttons with all the different levels. So you're basically using the same teleport, even though they're not pressing the button. They clearly have some kind of a way of controlling it. Otherwise, you appear in another space. So this, in here you see. Oh, I guess you wouldn't see what's inside this room, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. That's clearly a room over there. This is now Atlas says, this is where we create the zirconium suits. And you can see that there are 12 more dwarves up here, and there is an Atlantean. He's old, another old man. He's wearing an immaculate suit of clothes, of green clothes, but he's wearing kind of like a really tattered black cloak. It really looks out of place. They are on the tables, which are what these things are in the middles. They seem to be assembling and parts, and you can see over in the area where marked B, there's all these little cubbies. You can see partially constructed what appears to be armor. Each one has like different parts, and then in one of them there's actually a full suit, which I'll show you a picture of, even though you can see it right in the middle of the module, but that's okay. Oh no, don't want to close the meeting. Oh no. That would have been a bummer. Here's screen.
How
Actually,
large
briefly.
are the suits?
They're man size, a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was sort of
Yeah.
hoping that they're gigantic ones where we get to climb in.
No, not here. So yeah, they look like this. They look almost like spacesuits.
Yeah, I will
Um,
ask them. Are these
yeah.
for traversing the Black Gulf?
Oh yes, zirconium suits are very useful. They have many powers. They are weapons, they are protection, and the Black Gulf can be crossed. They do take a long time to manufacture, but what do we have if not time?
Of course. Okay. I look at the others
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna steal some of those eventually.
Let me just give you actually everybody's magic. Everybody can roll. I'll give everybody a 2 and 6 chance of knowing anything about these. Now that you're seeing it as a suit, like the word probably didn't hit you right away, but now you're seeing it as a. Oh, Ali, of course. All right, so what would you have done? I gotta find the zirconium suit so I can actually tell you. So I don't want to give you bad information. Zirconium suits it is a thing, quite a thing. Did anybody else know about them? Just Ali, okay. Unless Podesta rolled, I didn't see it because you're rolling regular dice, right?
No, I didn't. I don't know anything about the 5.
Okay. Okay, so what he's saying, right, is true. You know that it's airtight, basically, Ali. Like he's telling the truth that you could use it in the Black Gulf. You could, that there is a weapon built into it. Okay, right. You know that it's a very powerful protection. You know that it is it allows you to move. I mean, considering its size, you know that it allows you to move fairly fast. Not as fast as somebody not wearing armor, but it does allow you to fly to a certain extent, but not really, more like a levitation. You also know that it is air watertight, as I mentioned, and also controls weather, blah, blah. And it actually makes the wearer quite strong. And it does, in fact, have weapons. It can be used, to fight with. And also used as some kind of a magical attack. Although you don't know that much about it. But you have heard all those things. That everything he's saying is absolutely true. This is like both incredibly protective and a weapon. And it also can traverse the Black Gulf or underwater or any place like that.
He leans to Revna and says, "Well, I can tell you one thing. Those things are incredibly valuable."
That is also true.
We'll see, my friend. We will see.
So you can see again the Atlantean that's here kind of just looks as soon as you appear, and then he sees that you're with the masters, and then he kind of just turns back and starts directing the dwarfs to continue their work. He doesn't pay any attention to you whatsoever. So once you're there for a second, you can see there's you really only see one suit that seems like it's fully functional, or at least fully assembled. Then you see parts of other suits, which might have value in and of themselves, but it would take a lot of knowledge to know how to put one together properly. But you do see at least one in here, and you know that it would be a very dangerous weapon, or the like, whether you're facing it or using it. Then he raises his hand again, and you are disintegrated and reintegrated on another level. And this level, you appear kind of in the corner, and as soon as you appear, they say the Atlas says, "Oh, close your eyes." And as soon as you get up there, you can actually see there's something flashing really, really bright. Do people close their eyes, or do you want to see what it is first? Or, okay.
I'll close my eyes, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna listen.
Okay. Does anybody not close their eyes? No? Okay. All right. So, Podesta, you feel like something being handed to you.
Okay.
As does Revna. And you can feel it, and it's a helmet. And they say, put this on, you'll be able to open your eyes.
Okay. I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. What do you call it? Suspiciously.
Okay. Yeah, you said the thing. It's a heavy metal helmet. You feel around it, and you can actually feel there's no, sometimes helmets have always. They have like a opening so you can see out. It doesn't even have that. It feels like it's just all solid. But when you put it up over your head and then you open your eyes, you're looking through essentially what is like sunglasses or like a welder's glass, effectively. And you see something very interesting that you've never seen before, I would imagine. And I got another screen share because this is a good one.
Nice.
It's sad that Ali doesn't see this one, but maybe you'll pass the helmets over after. You see probably most noticeable throwing the light, which is that B thing, is this circle of light that is pulsating. Well, it's steady, but there's these copper bands that are spinning around it rapidly, and it's making it feel like it's pulsating. You can see past that, though, against the wall, this bank of machines. Now, you've seen stuff like this before, not exactly, but you've seen them in the lair of the Migo. You saw them with the strange triangular shape guy, right? Remember, he was using the machine. There's buttons, there's knobs, there's levers, lights are flashing. And there is what appears to be a giant in a suit of metal armor that is working and controlling the knobs.
Oh no! Come on, guys, you gotta hand it over to him.
Yeah.
Oh man!
And he's working the knobs and stuff. So let me get the I figured you would like that one. There is a giant robot guy in here. Let's see. And okay, let me go to the modules. Right to you. All right, so this is level 5. Okay. So there's a 40, he's 40 feet tall. He's a 40-foot tall armored being, is inspecting the wall of alien machinery. The walls, floors, and ceiling have that kind of zirconium look to them. And when you step up, you actually look and you can see that even the two masters are wearing the helmets, like they put helmets on themselves. The thing's flickering like crazy. The ceiling here is like 50 feet tall. And you can actually see that there's like, they say to you, this here is the great attractor. It is attracting the negative creatures from the Black Gulf, which we use to power it. But this great attractor is giving us the power to create the weapon that we need. So, yes, the pesty, what did you call them, queens, are being brought here, but that is no matter to us. The great attractor will help close the gap in the Gulf forever, and prevent Kraken from entering.
Great attractor.
Yes. The great attractor. It is attracting. And actually, as he says that, those little flaps open up, the ones that you saw before, like black things going out, and you actually see some do kind of go out, but then you see a lot more come in. And they come in and they go into they like go to this like ball of glowing light, and they like attach to it, and it gets really bright in there for a second, and then the ball stays brighter and it's pulsing, almost like they're feeding it. And then the flaps close again.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can see that this like machinery on the wall is like, you can tell that a guy in armor was it was that creature that opened the flaps. You could tell that he was doing stuff. The flaps opened, then he like did something else and they closed, and then he went back to what he was doing. He's like turning knobs and dials and stuff.
Well, that's gruesome.
Yeah. Your servant here is formidable. A gesture at the robot.
They say, yes, he serves his purposes. It's hard to get any living being to work as tirelessly as a translateral, transserial, transectarial. I will never say that correctly again. Transectarial, Ken.
Transectarial?
Transtellarial. We're just going to say
Transformers?
Transformer, yep.
Yeah.
We're going to call him a transformer.
Yeah.
Transtellarial. No, I said it right the first time. Transtellarial.
Transtellarial.
Yep. Nothing works as tirelessly as a transtellarial.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of different workers doing various different things to help you. What role did you see for us?
Well, it would be interesting I would like to know about these creatures from Yuggoth. Perhaps you can travel to Yuggoth. Have you been there before?
I've never been to Yuggoth. No, I don't think any of my companions have either.
You're talking. I've never been to. You're disintegrated, yeah. And then you were reintegrated on another level. And this is the Mold and Fungus Laboratory. Okay. So I guess he would have. They asked for the hats back. I guess before he does that. So I guess they wouldn't just move you randomly because they'd have to ask for the hats back. So let's go back for a second. They wouldn't do that. So he says, "Please close your eyes and return to us the helmets so we can go to the next level."
Oh, sure. I would take my helmet off.
Ollie's like, let me just look.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe the other one. Maybe our companions could also take a quick look so they know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, he nods and he says, have them step forward off the platform. They can meet us upstairs.
Okay. I hand the hat to Ali and Rowan Seach if Revna is willing to.
Yeah, once Ali puts him on, inside the helmet, his eyes grow wide, and you see him like smile, uncontrollable smile, and he's like, "Ah, this is the pinnacle of magical arts. That is what we aspire to create and control. It is definitely worthwhile to have come here."
What does Rowan Seach think?
Rowan Sage isn't gonna look.
Okay.
She trusts everyone else's judgment.
And he says, "What a magnificent piece of magic. To understand the secrets behind it would be worth a lifetime of anything, really." And he takes the helm off and hands it back to Panesta, and he says, "Thank you."
Of course, and
Okay.
I'll make sure they have the helmets, and we'll yeah.
Yeah, they hang them like up on the wall. You can hear them hanging them up. I mean, you can have your eyes open for a little bit. It's just if you have for an extended period of time, it'll be a problem, they tell you. So, they open their eyes and they hang them on a thing on the wall, and they get on the platform again with you. And now they disintegrate you and then reintegrate you into level 6. And they said this is the mold and fungus laboratory. When you come out, you see that this is going to a 30-foot tall ceiling. There are various chambers on the north. There's tables. You see kind of bent over the tables, working 2 giant albino white apes with 4 arms apiece. You've seen those before. They're wearing white lab coats. And they have like those little like reflectors on their forehead, like 1920 scientists. Yeah, and they are they're leaning over something and working, and they look up and they see you, and they see that you're with the master, so they just go back and don't know what they were doing. And basically he says to you, this is where we investigate various molds and fungi, as many of these creatures that come across the Gulf take the form of molds. Like, come this way, and he kind of walks forward, and he brings you up to where G is. By the way, these are like glass doors, and you can see in there. The walls in here are covered with a strange pink fuzzy mold. It forms in 6-inch spherical formations, and it's kind of like these like balls on the wall, basically. And he says to you, "Do not stare at them too long, though. They have hypnotic powers. This is the mold of Yuggoth."
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
is the mold in the desert, the lichen out there, is that from the Gulf?
That mold may have originally started there, but we do not know it. It was already here.
Okay, but this is for sure from Yuggoth.
Oh yes, the last humans, you like to be called humans, right?
Humans is fine.
Yeah. The last humans that we sent to Yuggoth came back with this. Unfortunately, they died shortly after. We're not sure why. We did cut their bodies open, but it seemed that all of their internal organs had been crystallized. So I don't recommend breathing when you're on Yuggoth.
I see. And I'm looking at the mold.
How long do you look at for?
Just for a second, I kind of look at it
Okay.
like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the others. I'm like, sorry, I don't know what I agreed to.
Yeah. So, and there's other molds in here, and the scientists are just working and stuff. He shows you, he's got this kind that shrieks when it sees light. So it's actually got like a dark like, almost like sunglasses covering it. There's some other that just like mold that you've seen before, like, anywhere. You see other mold that is brown and funny looking, that grow in long strips. You see some that's like bright yellow colored, and other that's kind of brown. So you just see various types of mold they're doing tests on. And then they kind of walk back to the teleporter. And they disintegrate you and then reintegrate you on the next level. There are several cells here. Each one seems to have a pair, so male and female, of various types of primates. So you look into the first one, you can see that they're mountain apes, and then you can see probably in the second one, even when you first come up, are albino white apes. When you kind of come out and look into the space, you're kind of looking down. You can see also kind of where that eye is, kind of moving up towards you, is a woman. Well, it is a snake with the head of a woman. You've seen such a thing before. And she sees you, and she's like, and then she sees the masters, and she says, and she kind of goes back down onto her belly and slithers back, and it seems like she's attending to the various cells. And they look at you and they say, here's where we study the reproductive and social aspects of various primates here on Hyperborea. And as you look into each one of these, it's basically the cells are just like there's like straw all over the ground and like a bench. There's some like a water bowl and like various like you can see food and stuff.
Oh. Have you ever studied four-armed white apes?
Well, of course, they are the yeah, well, you saw them downstairs.
That's right.
Yeah. Those we call those the superior white apes. They have a bit of intelligence and can even speak to a certain extent. These ones here, and he kind of points to those ones. We've not noticed much intelligence there, though they do keep family groups, like many of the primates here on Hyperborea. Yeah, and here, by the way, the cells are enclosed with bars, and the bars look to be made of energy. So they're like glowing.
Okay.
Yeah, and the various, I don't know if you want, how far you want to walk in, but from where you're at the beginning part, you can see into the first three cells. Like I said, you can see that there are what are effectively just kind of standard apes. You see white ones, and then you see another set of apes in the third cell that looks similar to the mountain apes, except you notice that they are eating like what appears to be a big hunk of like a side of a cow or something. They're tearing into the meat, which is generally not the food of apes.
Okay. I don't think I need to see more in here, she says, and she'll kind of step back.
How about the rest of you? Any interest in science?
Yes, of course. Any particular knowledge that you've uncovered from studying these apes so far? Anything that you would share with us?
Well, it's inconclusive now as of now, but it seems like no matter the level of, we'll say, intelligence of the primates, they all seem to be the same in the end. They search for three things: food, water, and reproduction.
I see. Well, I might add that we also seek shelter. I suppose you do that. But tell us, where do you come from? You don't seem like any of the races that we've encountered in our own world here in Hyperborea.
Yes.
And it seems like you don't belong to Yuggoth. You must come from someplace else.
As Judy says, well, certainly we're not of the Hyperborean. Hyperboreans believed that they were a superior race, but as I said, primates are all more or less the same. And then he walks onto the teleporter space and kind of signals you all to come up.
Will you tell us a little bit about where you're from?
He opens his mouth like he's about to speak, and then everybody is disintegrated again and reintegrated in a new space. Okay, so this is effectively a library. The whole wall to the north is covered in books. There are many tables that have various stuff on them. You know, shelves and like the tables are cluttered with books, pages, you know, different scrolls, notes. Like you can basically see stuff spread out all of these tables, almost like, you know, people are using this as like a working library. Oh, let me see if there's nobody here right now except for you all. There's a statue when you first come up. It is a iron statue. It kind of looks a little bit like the like almost like a Roman. You guys have met well, not all of you have, but some of you have met the Romans. It kind of looks like the Romans. You know, looks like a Roman soldier. And it's a statue made of iron. So, you know, you come up and he says, here is where we study all things, both law, chaos, balance, negative, positive, north, south, the inner, the outer. This is where the knowledge is. And he kind of puts his hands up. He says, as to where we come from, I spend much of my time on Saturn myself. Have you been to Saturn?
No, I have not been to any place other than this world that we're in right now.
Oh,
Realm of
oh
Hyperborea.
yes. Mm. Yes, you're very fragile, says Aspasia. Well, Saturn is beautiful in its own way, as is Hyperborea.
What brought
If
you
you
to
wish-
Hyperborea?
Oh, well, we are here to close the
Oh, this.
rift.
Okay.
Yes, the a great attractor we built here because you know, to build it on Saturn would be not the correct coordinates. This is the best place for it here in Hyperborea, where it's not going to do any harm.
Okay.
I see. But why do you want to close the rift? And why do you oppose Kraken? Not
Kraken is the dweller. Kraken brings death. Kraken brings the end to all.
Yes. Have you been warring against Kraken for a long time? Or are you simply concerned about us here? Men like us, the lesser beings, as you say.
We do not war against Kraken, but we also know that Kraken needs to stay where Kraken is.
True.
These creatures, Cthulhu, Kraken, Helios, Yig, that you believe them to be gods, but they are just other forms of life, and they need to stay where they are.
That makes sense. I would rather have the gods stay where they are than walk all over us. Are you gods?
He smiles. Never would I claim such a thing upon myself. You become a god when people call you one.
Mm.
That makes perfect sense.
There's much knowledge here for those who would like to learn, take it, and to leave knowledge. There's parchment and paper, books and quills to write the things that you know and share here in the great library.
Certainly, before we leave, I think we could write down a few of our stories.
And perhaps we could spend a lot more time and learn all these great knowledge that they've accumulated over a long period of time.
You are welcome to study as much as you need.
I'd say thank you. It is a great honor indeed.
He nods and he steps back on the platform, and assuming everybody's on there with him, he raises his hand and you are disintegrated again. And reintegrated.
What floor was that?
8. That was the 8th floor. This is the 9th floor. And he says, this is where we dwell. These are our chambers. And you see directly across from you a couple of statues. They are made of stone. And they're actually carved of granite stone. And they look almost exactly like the two people that you're talking to Atlas and Aphasia. They don't look exactly like them, but they're pretty darn good replications, but they're taller. So these guys are 7 feet tall. The stone statues are like about 10 foot tall. And they are, just standing there, the statues. And then all those other little black dots are columns going up. And you can see that there are curtains on either side. And he says, these are our sleeping quarters. If you need us, we are often here. You may rest upon the 2nd level. We will need to discuss how you can work with us. But leave your knowledge for now. Take the knowledge that you desire. And we will help you get what you need to get. And then they kind of they look at you, and then they kind of each of them walk in a separate direction. And they walk out and they go through the curtain. Each one goes through a separate curtain to one of each of the, obviously you can't actually see them. I just read the whole thing. They walk into those bedrooms and they kind of leave you standing up there, staring at the two stone statues.
Mm.
Very nice statues, Vanessa.
Yes, they are.
I bet they're
Boy.
very valuable too. And then he smiles at Revna.
She just winks.
We have stumbled into something here.
I have to say, I never, in my wildest imagination, would have expected to find myself in such a place. This place is a vault of great treasures.
Knowledge, danger, the two go hand in hand.
Knowledge most of all, and they've just given us the key to their library. If I'm allowed, Vanessa, Revna, and Rowan Siege, I would like to stay in the 8th floor and go through some of their books.
I don't think knowledge is ever a bad thing. I'm assuming we all might want to do a little bit of reading.
Perhaps an hour before we rest on the 2nd floor, I would take some time to identify the things that I found. But until then, I'd like to spend at least a couple hours in the library.
It's fine with me.
I'm very hurt. I believe I'm going to go rest for now.
Yes. Rest, heal yourself.
I would actually go with Rowan Siege if she had no objection. to sort of mother hen over her a little bit
Unbending.
because it was nasty the way she went down. So Revenant would be concerned.
Rowan Sage doesn't have any objection.
Well,
Yeah, sorry, yeah, if you remember, I'm going to share this with you. So, not visible to players. Why? But everyone, there we go. Can you see that now for the players?
oh yeah.
Yes.
The elevator thing, it looks like this. These are, by the way, Hellenic numbers from 1 to 9, and a black button at the bottom. So that's what's inside the elevators. Both Goodhild and Helena are also both pretty hurt, so they will also say that they want to go to the second level if that's where people are going. I guess it was probably, even though they didn't actually say it, I just want to make sure it was clear because that little pass is how you can get around to the different levels, except for level 2 where anybody can go. You know,
Right.
meaning that if you show up, like if you were, let's say, if you didn't have the pass, you went to like level 4, then people that are on level 4 are probably not going to be very happy that you're there. So that's a little meta, but I think that they would have made that clear if it wasn't. So
That was actually my question was if we split up, so the pass. So I guess I'll stay with Ali with the paper with the seal. If the others want to go to the second floor and rest, and then Ali and I can stay in the librry.
yeah,
So
the
like he
second
has the
floor
seal.
is yeah, exactly. The second floor is you know, fine for anybody to be on whenever you want, but any other floor you'll have to have the seal with you. I mean, the
Okay.
group can have the one seal; it's fine, but yeah. So just so you're clear.
Yeah, I'll just make sure. Like if you guys go to the second floor, don't try to. If you decide you want to go somewhere else, just hang out so that I can.
No,
Because I'll keep the seal with Ali and I so that we could he can look in the library if it's
I
okay
think-
with everybody.
yeah. Revenant would say, I think the plan is to sit down, rest, and relax and get well.
And then maybe we'll be traveling in the Black Gulf. I'll smile a little bit sickly smile because I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, as you would turn, as you would go, yay. Like that.
But the stories we could tell, think about the stories we're going to be able to tell,
Yeah.
and the fires we
know.
might find, Rowan Seach, and treasures. And
Yes. Hopefully it'll all work out.
okay.
All right, yeah. So you guys, if you get into the teleporter and you press the number 2, you get disintegrated and then reintegrated back on level 2, which of course was the entrance center. The only difference now is that over where the sea area was, the desk and the couch are gone. And in that area, there are pretty tightly packed together, but there are 4 beds. And then there's another 2 beds, because there's 6 of you, right? There's another 2 beds over in area B. So there's like 4, we'll say 3 and 3. There's 3 in B and 3 in C. That probably makes more sense. And they're made, you know, they're like perfectly made with beautiful silk sheets with pillows and stuff. And then the covers are like turned down slightly with a little candy on it. And if you want to rest there, you certainly can.
Yep, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Can we get our hit points back?
You will after a full night's rest.
Okay.
See how I'm making that look? That's not a full night yet. Let's see what your companions do upstairs. Yeah. So no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, you'll get healed up. So yeah, you go down, and of course, there's, by the way, on the second floor, of course, once again, there's, as soon as you get down there, you notice that the tables and stuff are all cleared, but as soon as you reappear and you kind of step into the space, once again, from those cubbies, food kind of comes out and sits on the table, and wine and milk and stuff is served, just like before. Back on the 8th floor, which is the library, essentially. Yeah, there's these tables that are spread out upon you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all have stuff spread on them. The other ones that aren't labeled are empty at this point, and then the back wall is covered with books and scrolls and stuff.
Nice.
So, yeah, if you want to spend some time looking.
Yeah, Ali goes to look for, some books, and he looks for a book on black golf, if he could find one.
Okay, sure.
And yeah, he takes that one if he could find it, and another one on history of Black Fortress that they're at, if he could find that one.
Mhm.
The subject of Great Attractor is something that he'd like to research as well. Rift is another subject that he is interested in learning about. And
Okay.
definitely Yuggoth, because if he's to possibly travel over there, he wants to know what sort of danger that lurks there and things like that.
Awesome.
If he's able to find any of those, or not at all, he's gonna look furiously for any book on Transcentarial.
Okay. Okay, for sure. What about Finesta? What are you looking for?
Sorry, I had to cough. I'm going to actually sit and write. I will talk about the Migo and some of the things as I told them I would. So I will tell about the time we spent in the under layers of a Crystal Point.
Nice. Okay. You notice? Do you have some kind of like read magic or something? Not read magic, read languages spell. I think, right?
I do.
Because you do see a lot of stuff that seems to be written in script that you don't understand. Like you think with the spell you'd be able to understand it, but you do also find some books that are written in Hellenic Hyperborean, Hellenic Atlantean, Lemurian, and the language of Mu, which I don't think anybody really spoke last time.
He speaks Hyperborean, Lemurian,
Yeah, and
Thracian,
Atlantean.
and Celtic and Eskimo.
Okay, yeah. So if you speak Hyperborean, you find some stuff. You can see that on one of the tables on T2, there seems to be some. You look around on the shelves, obviously, but there, because you're walking right past it, you do see that there is there's some scripts that look like the Hyperborean that seem to be in relationship to the rift and in the between Orionis and Poseidonus. And it looks like that it seems to be, you can see by the drawings and stuff, but like I say, some of it's in the language you might have to cast a spell for. You can see drawings and stuff of those creatures, the black winged creatures that you fought. And you can see like maps, like almost like star maps that show like the things. You can see the rift. So you do see that. I mean, it'll take time to study it, but just on you see that. Insofar as you do find actually a book that is about the Transcerials, wherever I said you pronounce it. you do find a book on that, as a matter of fact. And that's probably in a couple hours. That's probably all you're really going to find. Without like a lot of time, you're not going to find much. But roll a d6. Let me see if you get a 1. You might find one of the special things that's in here. There's a few special things in here as well, beyond what you said you were looking for. Oh yeah, sure enough. As you're looking around, you see that there is actually a on T4, you see that there's scrolls that seem to be, there seems to be a strange spell, a spell you've never heard of before, a spell of regeneration. And this is not a spell that, and it looks like there's some writing here in Atlantean, but like Hellenic Atlantean, so you can kind of make it out if you speak any kind of the Hellenic languages. It looks like somebody was writing it in Atlantean, trying to recreate this spell in a way that it could be put into a book. Because these are like spell scrolls. Like you cast one spell scroll. It's not like spell scrolls like to learn from. So it seems like somebody's trying to like translate the spell into a book. Wherever they got the scrolls from, it's unclear. But they're trying to like put it into their spell book. And there's one scroll that's like burnt. So there's three scrolls of this regeneration spell, a book with like some notes in Atlantean, and then a scroll that's destroyed. So like they destroyed it when they were trying to make it copy.
So there's a book, but there are 3 scrolls of regeneration.
Yeah, there's 3 scrolls, like magic scrolls, like you'd read from. They're not like sorcerer scrolls, but clearly they should be magic for somebody, right? And somebody is using these scrolls to try to translate it into a spell that could work for a sorcerer. So in other words, it's like almost like they're not cleric scrolls either, but it's like if you had looked at a cleric scroll, like it's a magic scroll, but you can't cast it, That's the way you can look at this thing. You can tell that it's a scroll that would create a regeneration effect, but you wouldn't be able to cast it from the scroll, and clearly neither can whoever's doing this, because they're trying to create a version of the spell that is a sorcerer version. And they're writing it in Atlantean. But there's 3 copies of the scroll there, and then 1 scroll that's been destroyed. So like they tried and failed, essentially. So clearly somebody here is trying to create this spell. And like I say, there is a book about the translaterals. They are, let me give you some information. You kind of just looking at it, they are a very, very, very small race. There's not a whole lot known. They are basically giants, as you can see, although they can change their size. And basically, these are Ixian books, by the way.
Nice.
Some think that it's unclear. There's like a debate whether or not there's just a being of pure energy inside of a suit of armor. Some think that the armor itself is alive, like basically almost like a machine that's alive. And some actually think there's a person inside. It's actually unknown. But what is known is that it's an incredibly sparse race that came from what is known to you guys as the old Earth, like where Atlantis came from. And they believe that there's less than 100 of them in the entire universe. Is only like 100. Yeah. And apparently they were what the word is, they existed at the same time as the Snake Men on Earth. Like they were like a rival to the Snake Men.
Okay.
Yeah. So they come kind of like some kind of intelligent species that uses science, if you will, that may have helped develop what is the human race on old Earth. It speaks of them like building pyramids and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're very mysterious. Yeah.
he shares what he finds with Panesta and like points out these passages to share the knowledge.
Fascinating, Ollie. Thank you.
I hope
Certainly.
we don't have to face them in combat. It would be a shame to destroy one of those races that are so rare, and I doubt that we would survive such an encounter.
I'm in 100% agreement with you. I think we should do our best to try to help them accomplish their goal, and then hopefully we can just get home.
Just don't understand their motive for staying here, trying to fight against these gods. I don't think they're here out of goodness of their heart.
I don't either. Perhaps the Kraken, perhaps they've encountered the deity in the past and they have, problems, or I don't know.
Well, from your
Or
stories, it seems like they're opposed to all these creatures that you fought before. So, considering how your encounters in the past have went, These folks are not too unpleasant to deal with.
No, they're just different from us, and so therefore seem unkind or uncaring. But I think they legitimately want to close whatever this rift is, and if there really is a rift in the Black Gulf, it's probably best to get closed. There are things there, and usually it's best to only tap it in very minor ways. A whole rift could potentially tear Hyperborea apart, I think. So
Did we find the book on Rift? You said that there is a rift between like Orionus and Poseidon.
Yeah, it looks like that there's it's one of these books that like predicts, over timeline based on the moving of the stars and stuff, that there is a rift that's opening up between Orionus and Eternus? No. Hold on. Orionus and Poseidonus.
Poseidon.
Yeah, and that rift may open up a gate where some of these, because up to now, I mean, you would kind of, it may even say this in the book, but you probably have some knowledge of this anyway. It's like Kraken is one of those things that people worship, and they it's human sacrifice and whatnot. And usually when these things are performed, they'll summon like the Kraken, and like a single tentacle will like rise up out of a pool or something and destroy somebody just by touching it. So it's very powerful. But the entirety of Kraken is, supposedly trapped in another dimension, and this might allow Kraken to move into this dimension and it possibly destroy all of Hyperborea. Who knows? I mean, you don't know. Nobody's really sure what Kraken would do. There's predictions, obviously, but
Does the book say anything about how to close it, or anything in that regards? How to prevent it from forming?
yeah, that's what not specifically, and that's what the notes and stuff that are in strange language, basically the language of these people, Atlas, and so you won't be able to speak that language. You would need some kind of magic to interpret it, or you could ask him, I suppose.
Could we take the book down to the resting area?
Yeah, I mean, you could try.
Yeah, he's gonna take that book down to the resting area.
Okay. Yeah, if you take the book and you start heading towards the teleporter, the iron statue comes to life, and it kind of like steps forward, and it says, it doesn't actually move its face, like when it just words come from it. It says, "Do not steal from the library."
I wasn't going to steal it. I was going to check it out and read it downstairs, but I could definitely come back when I'm well rested. Here you go. And then he takes the book and gives it back to them.
Okay, yeah, you put it back where you got it. It just steps back where it was, and it freezes back up.
Yeah, and he tells Panista, I think I will come back to the library once we're rested and my ability to comprehend these languages return.
good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you were to press the number 2, you'll go back down to where everybody else is. And like I said, you will. Well, while you were doing that, though, did you guys want to do anything else down there, or are you just resting?
Just resting.
Yarp.
How about Revan?
Same thing.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm basically playing nursemaid.
Okay. So yeah, so you guys press the button. Did you end up back on level 2? Everybody's there, resting up. There's food and stuff. Helene and Gunhild have partaken in the food and taken off their armor, and they're resting on the beds because they're very hurt, actually, both of them. And they look at you and they say, "What have you found?" Gunhilder says,
I learned a little bit about the rift. It seems to be forming, or it will form, between Orionus and Poseidonus. And we learned a little bit more about that gigantic being, the tall metal creature. It's a rival to the snake men, and it is very rare creature in the world.
"Snake men." She spits on the ground.
Yes, they fought against the snake men, from what I gather.
Well, Do we have a way to stop these creatures that killed my mother?
I suppose if we end the rift and do what these two ask of us, they wouldn't need to continue to use this great attractor that's responsible for uh, these beings that killed your mother to be here.
And she kind of looks, just says, well, why don't we just stop now? Why should the creatures come? They're bringing evil into Hyperborea.
He looks at Panesta.
It is true. They're bringing evil into Hyperborea. But I have a feeling there's a greater evil lurking. And if we don't help them, or if we try to stop what they're doing, I don't even know if we could stop what they're doing. But we should at least see if there's a way we can help them in their goal. And the faster we do that, the faster I think this will stop, even those other creatures.
There'll always be a greater evil. There'll always be.
True. But I think that they're unable to stop them by themselves, because as great as they make themselves to be, if they were capable of doing so without risking too much to themselves, they would have already accomplished what they're looking to do. So perhaps they know the way to stop this rift and prevent Kraken from destroying our world, but they don't want to risk themselves and want to send someone else to do the job for them. And he looks at all the other gathered fellows over there. To stop
What did the other gathered? What did the rest of you think? Ron Seach and Revna.
I think that we should help these people and get back to where we came from. We've already helped you, Helena, kill the creature that you said killed your mother. They said that there could be 1,000 or more of these other things. There's no way we could ever hope to kill that many of them.
They are coming from another place. And that great attractor, as you saw, seems to be the pathway that they're using to come to our world. Isn't that right? And he looks at his party members.
Well, Helene, who wasn't part of this until she was just brought into it, says, and who's very wise, says, it does seem that they are bringing these creatures to Hyperborea. And they claim it's for a good cause, but how do we know we can trust them? They claim that all gods are evil, but I know that my God is powerful and good.
I believe that mine is, and it is as well.
I don't think they said they were evil. They said they were another form of life that needs to stay where they are, which means there's a separate place for mortals like us, and she'll smile, and the gods. And you can worship them, and certainly they can be helpful, but they don't need to be on this plane, I guess is the right way to say it.
To bring our God here would solve the problems. Auroras would wipe out this terrible plague upon the Hyperborea, not help the plague come.
What does your clergy speak of Kraken? How do you feel about their followers and their god?
Kraken is a cheap god for those with no true piety.
If Kraken were to come to our world, they could wreak havoc upon the followers of Auroras.
Auroras would crush the followers of Kraken, as we always have. You should know this, and she looks at Podesta. Because you get your power from the men of Lang, right? They're worshippers of auroras.
The vibrations of the Black Gulf, yeah.
Yeah.
And Men of Lane can help with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's much great knowledge here, and I don't know these people's motives, but I know that there's great treasure to be had and great knowledge to be gathered. Speaking of which, I would like to see those things that we have acquired earlier so that I may identify them before resting for the evening.
Oh, I'll give him the ring. I'll give you the ring.
And he eyes at Revna's armor.
Strip
Oh.
down, lady.
Do I have to take it off?
Well, I may
Michelle
try
just, Michelle just said, "Ooh, giggity."
He's gonna,
And
if
Ellie
you don't
goes,
take it
"Giggity."
off, he's gonna he's gonna touch it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well, I would
she's
need
a
to
Viking
examine-
woman. It won't be the first time someone's ever goosed her without her permission, I'm sure. So,
If you promised me that you would not knock me down, I don't see why you have to. It'll
well,
be easier if you just give me the armor.
I kind of look over at the other two girls and I'm just like, as long as you don't get grabbier than you really need to. And then she kind of moves her cloak to the side so that he can cast on the armor.
I believe that the spell says that when you go to identify things, you actually have to put them on. Like you
Yeah.
have to actually wear the ring or wear the armor.
Oh, so he's got to wear the armor?
Oh, okay, there you go.
Oh, I guess I'm all right. Cool. All right. Well, she like takes her finger and makes a turnaround motion to and then to Ali, but then doesn't really wait for him to comply, and she just starts stripping out of the armor. She still has her old armor, so she just kind of, or takes her cloak and just kind of covers up with it, and then hands it over to him.
Yeah, he spends about an hour going through all these rituals to identify all the things that they found.
Okay, cool.
And,
So you're gonna cast Identify?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Was there anything besides what you had today that you haven't identified?
I think I could identify up to 7 items.
Okay. But I mean, did you have anything from before? Because I'm trying to remember if there's something you guys haven't identified that you picked up. I don't think so. Is there?
I don't think so. I can just make sure real quick.
Just in case there is, because I know you can do more objects than just what's there. The armor is leather armor +3.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, alrighty.
Yeah, the dagger is +1 and it emits light, as you already saw that. And the ring is a ring of animal control.
Ooh.
Yeah, which allows you to control mundane animals.
Nice.
Well, obviously, I would like the armor, and if no one else is interested in the dagger, but I'm sure everybody's going to want a piece.
Yeah, I don't see anything that we
Yeah.
would need identified.
Oh, right. Well, I guess the other thing that you have that I just told you what it was because we didn't want to bother with it was those other 2 daggers that you have are +1 as well, Rush. So I guess I already told you that, but technically you would now in game you would identify those and know they're magical.
Yeah, but it also emits light. That's the cool part.
Oh no, I'm not saying you shouldn't take this dagger. That just reminded me that was something else you hadn't actually identified, but I just told you what it was because obviously you were using it. So yeah, so it was a +1. That's right, because I was just asking. Remember, I was like, I know there's something else you guys had. I'm trying
Well,
to
if
think
he's
I
got
picked
up to
anything else.
6, then can I just have those put into the pot to be identified as well?
Yeah, that's what I was
sure.
just saying.
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
So
cool.
those are identified.
So he could identify 2 more objects, I think.
I think that's everything we just looked.
Is there a difference between leather and studded in this
Could
game?
I identify those 2 scrolls that I had up there on the?
You didn't take them with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but you could tell what they were. They were of the spell. And if you were able to cast such a spell, but none of you in your group know that spell. It's like it's a spell that's not. It's actually not even. It's a brand new spell. Like it's not in the spell books, I believe, because they list it as a brand new spell. So it's not anything anybody would have ever known. So, but you could. So nobody can cast it, but you'd have to put it into a book. Which you can do. You can try anyways, but it would be obviously you could risk destroying it, just like whoever else tried to do it did.
Leather
Yeah.
armor is AC 7. So I think if it's a +3, you'll be like what, AC 4?
Right.
How
Yeah,
much is
Basically
studded
like
leather?
banded melt.
Yeah, studded leather is in mundane armor. Studded leather is one better. It's our AC 6, but this is just regular leather, so it's AC 7.
Plus
So
my
you're,
dexterity.
as Crystal said, it's magic, so it's AC 4 because you're +3. So yes, that's very good.
So it's
Yeah.
AC 4, but I also get my dexterity bonus, correct?
That's correct. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
shit.
basically 2 better than your studded. If you look at it that way.
So at
And
the
of course,
end
it's
of
magic, which is nice.
My armor
at
class
the end
just
of
went to 2.
casting all these rituals and putting them on and things like that, Ali, after sustaining so much damage from the battle before, and with the exhaustion, he's about to collapse, but he doesn't collapse because, unlike the previous sorcerer that I played, he actually has more constitution than 9, so he actually
Nice.
is able to stand. Yeah, and he
Awesome.
says, yeah, this leather armor seems to be just the right type of a thing for you. And those 2 daggers, they're magical also. And hands it back to Revna. And he holds up that ring of animals and says, eh, anyone is welcome to use this ring.
Oh, you know what? Ring of Animal Control. Yeah, there was a couple other things. Again, I kind of just told you guys because it would be stupid. Like you would just, I didn't want to do all the math myself. Clearly, the armor that you gave to,
Revna?
Goodhild is
Grimhild.
magic, right? Which I mean, that was pretty obvious, as was the shield that you gave her. But there was another thing that was magic in that thing too, which obviously you've used once, which was a necklace of missiles. But now you've identified it, so I can tell you exactly what they are because you didn't know what they were before. You used one of the small ones, right?
Yes, I did.
So you have two more missiles on there. One is a CA5 fireball, and one is a CA3. So one does 3d6 or whatever, and one does 5d6.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I told you what those did in particular. I just told you that they were fireballs because you guys kind of knew what it was.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so that you would all know all that stuff. Everybody can also heal up, half their hit dice in dice, if that makes sense. So her hit dice,
Hit die.
D10 plus 1, and she is 6
Oh,
levels,
nice.
so 3 of these.
9. 17.
Oh, so half of that. So she heals up half of that, which would be 21. So she goes back to full.
I would
Roll.
say about that ring of animal control that anyone can use. I mean, we can just keep it, and whoever wants to,
Yeah, I'd say we keep it and sell it after this is over.
I mean, we
Ali will hang on to it along with that dagger of light.
and if we need to fight things in here, it might be helpful to be able to control the apes upstairs.
Sure.
I'll say with a smile.
Okay, and she's going to cast
Nice.
her light.
So do we roll, like, for example, being the 7th level, do I roll 60 and 76 and then divide that number by 2?
Well, that's how I did it because the sheet did it for me automatically, but I didn't want to just roll half that number of dice, but you could do it either way.
Okay.
Yeah, you could either roll half the number or you could do it that way, whatever's easier for you. And add your con bonus to each one as well, if you have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is how
Yeah.
rolling 3d6 for me already fully healed me. I'll just keep the 3d6.
Yeah. It's just because the sheet has your hit dice on it, so I was just using the sheet. When I click it, it just rolls the whole hit die.
Yeah.
And I just divided it by 2. Yeah. So actually, technically, she should have got more because it should be. Her hit die is actually it's not 70-10 plus 1. It's 70-10 plus 7 because it's 1 per level. But doesn't
Is it
actually
round
matter.
up or down?
Down.
Okay.
The hit points. Oh, I'm sorry. The hit points up, but the dice down. If that makes sense. But if you're just dividing it in half, then down.
Okay.
Just to make things more complicated. Or round it whatever direction works better. I don't care.
No problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think usually, unless you guys really get beat up, usually this brings everybody up. Does anybody need? She has one more cure light wounds, Helene, if anybody's not fully healed.
Ali needs one.
Okay. 7.
You sorry, I forgot to roll. You said half my hit dice.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, if
So
you're using the character sheet to do it, then you can just roll the hit die button and then divide by 2.
Oh,
If that's easier. I mean, that's what I've been doing because with the NPCs, because it's easier to do that. Yeah, and then so 10.
oh shit.
Sweet.
Okay. Well, I'm fully healed.
Okay. Yeah. So you get, you rest up. There's beds in here. There's food if you want to eat. If you don't want to eat, then you're going to be hungry, and that's going to be a problem. But the food doesn't seem to be affecting anybody. It's very tasty, and strangely, like, fresh and nice, considering you're in the middle of a desert with nothing around you. You can imagine there's a lot of magic going on here.
Yeah, Rowan Seacher's gonna eat for sure.
Yeah, the food seems fine.
Okay.
And if they were going to kill us, they could have done it any other way. So.
Yeah.
So I'll eat too.
Indeed. Yeah, it's delicious, and you're able to heal up and everything tonight. I think this might be. I don't know if you guys want to roleplay and discuss more what your plan is, but it would be good if before we start next time if you let me know, because this is where this module gets a little bit off the. It can, what you do really changes how the thing flows. So I'll have to kind of have a plan. But
Well, I know Panista would want to talk more, or just because they never really told us what they want us to do. They've given us a tour, they've kind of told us what's going on, but I don't know how they want us to help them.
okay, right. So they're gonna want. I mean, again, it's kind of meta, but just so we have an idea of where everybody wants to go. They're basically gonna, if you agree to help them, they're gonna effectively send you to one of these other planets to kill or fight or collect something for the project. So they're gonna send you to like Yagath or to one of these other planets, because they have these towers in various planets.
Okay.
They're creating like a set of towers all around to close this rift. So essentially, they're going to send you probably to a different planet to do something, or possibly back to like the silver, or possibly into the Underborea to research the Migo. Depending on what you're telling them and stuff.
Okay.
Because what their whole thing is, they're trying to stop the rise of chaos, because that's opening the Gulf, and they're trying to close the Gulf.
So I'd ask you guys, do you want to do this, or do you want to try to somehow get home on our own?
Well, to me, that's the whole question. Do we think that we have any chance of getting home without doing this? We're stuck on an island. We have no way to call a boat. We don't have our own boats here.
I don't think it's an island, is it?
Well, it's
Where-
it's effectively an island, because there's really nothing.
Yeah.
It's a peninsula, but the back of it it goes onto the Black Gulf. So effectively, it's an island. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The only thing you know that's here is this tower, a whole lot of cacti, and you know that there's one of those pillars that holds Hyperborea flat, way at the end near the Black Gulf. You do know that Ali's familiar tried to communicate and I guess if you want to take some time to look, Ali, it seems like they defeated the Blackbeard, and searched underneath and found remnants of what happened. So they are preparing a boat. It's hard to know, but it seems like they might be coming, but that's going to be several months. So
Yeah, Ali relays that information and tells the good news to Grunhilde from
right.
what he's learned. And he tells Revna They may be on the way, and I could hear what they're saying through my raven. However, considering that we have their library at our disposal, we could look for a magical way to teleport ourselves off of here. We could take some time to research or possibly locate a scroll of teleportation of some sort. Or if you give me half a year, I could research it and develop my own version
Oh,
of that
yeah.
teleportation.
It's just a half a year. Yeah,
I
no
doubt they'll let
problem.
us stay here half a year without doing anything.
I don't know exactly how long it would take, but
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I think their hospitality is predicated on us helping them.
I also don't think they'll let us poke around this tower a whole lot without giving them an answer pretty quickly either. So trying to search for a way, we'd have to find a way, figure out that that way is going to work, and then actually make it happen, all while trying to dodge the watchful eye of these masters.
well, for now they have good use of us, so I don't think they would be getting rid of us anytime soon. But considering how quickly they dispense with our dear friend, the Ixian, I don't think these folks are to be trusted.
Which is precisely my point. We can't trust them, and they're not gonna. The only thing we can trust is that they're probably just not gonna allow us to continue to have free reign about this tower, but for a very, very short time. If so, I'm kind of at the point now to where I don't see that we have a lot of choice.
Well, come morning, uh, I'm gonna search the library a little more to see if there is a teleportation scroll or something to that effect, which we could use to leave this place. And perhaps if we find such a thing, we might have more options.
Yeah. When you say that Gunhild says, I won't leave unless we either do something to stop the break in the Gulf or stop that machine. Because to do nothing is to let Hyperborea die. And then she
I
goes to down out of the way.
I
That's
agree
what you.
with Grenhilda, actually, but I think that we should side with these people. I mean, they seem to genuinely want to put an end to the rip in the Gulf, and I don't think Kraken coming into this dimension would be good for anyone on Hyperborea.
Yes, but they were ready to dismiss us, which means that they have other means to do what they need to do.
Um, well, it could be that, or it could just be that they didn't want to waste their time on beings that could not, um, beings that were weak.
That is true. So, considering that we are weak beings, we would leave with our lives and have some other beings that are more powerful deal with closing a rift in middle of Black Gulf.
I don't know that where I mean we destroyed one of their um we
Henchmen.
destroyed the henchman. I mean that was the test and we passed. So they now see us as being capable of doing whatever they needed to. I mean I see everyone's point. I do, but Ali, my friend, I don't see where that we have the time. I do not doubt your abilities to do the things that you are saying. I firmly believe that you have both the intellect and the acumen to accomplish what you're talking about. But we don't have the time for you to be able to do it. And if they catch you trying to do that, I fear for what they may do to you.
I agree. So it seems our options are quite limited.
Yeah, as the Vikings would say, the fate is sealed. The stains of our lives are already written. We can run and hide if we like. It will change nothing.
Excellent. And at that, that's probably a good place to leave it. And we can actually get a decision next time.